record. And you did already.
Don't know. I have it. It's on the same thing that I fixed it up.
21st of February, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz. It's the same thing it was?
It's set on the same thing that it was, the real tech that we said that it works.
Rabbi Levitt.
Well, you might have to try changing it and just see if you can get something that works better.
Okay. Let's try it. Is that better?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's weird. I don't understand.
What did you do?
I don't know, but whatever I did, Hashem made it work.
Baruch Hashem.
Yesterday we changed it from regular to real tech, and then there was no echo, and now we changed it back from real tech to regular, and now there's no echo because we changed it from real tech. So
Bizarre.
no. Okay. Very good. Okay, so good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good
Did
morning.
not have a chance to find out about this this loan. We wanted to look up this Gemara over here. Ah, yeah. Want to look up this Gemara in Bava Metzia 75b? Lending money without witnesses. Let's see.
75, what was it? Baba.
I can find my Gemara in Bava Metzia.
Let's see it. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Ayin Hay, Ahmed Base.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Alan. Good morning.
Morning, Roy. All right. Morning, Alan.
So Adam Chaveru Nefesh. Omer Nefesh. Imi Nefesh.
So where are we looking?
We're looking up on 75b.
Whereabouts? Whereabouts on the page?
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Uh-huh.
I found something on the very bottom of the page.
Mhm.
It says Tana Rabbanan.
Lends it without witnesses. Yeah.
Yeah, the rabbis taught in a brisa, 3 people cry out but are not answered. They are one who has money and lends it without witnesses, one who acquires a master over himself, one whose wife rules over him. So I don't know if that's what we're talking about, but it's at the very bottom of the page.
Yeah, I see. Very good. That sounds like it.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. It's interesting that I mean, it's it almost sounds like it's a just like it's like a it's a gadata.
Is this the one you said, Umar Rav Yehuda? Said in the name of Rav, whoever has money and lends it without witness.
Yeah, actually, the language of the Pele Yoetz doesn't sound like he's quoting this statement over here.
Oh, that's earlier on the page. Amarav Yehuda
Hmm.
was a few lines up.
Yes, yes.
There we go. Bishlokish amar gorem klolo la'atzmo. Shenemar talmenas vasai sheker. Adobros al tzadik. Okay, that's now. Do we have any Rashi over there? No. Oh, making a mistake. Making a mistake. Let's see. Klala. Over Mishum Lifnei Iver, Rashi says, She'ola al ruchoi she'loive lichpor. Huh. See the Rashi? You have to take a look at the Rashi. It's first of all, you have to know that the this last Amud over here is the end of Perek Ezu Neshech. And so the Rashis on this Perek only go halfway down the page, and then the rest of the Rashis go on the first 3 lines of the next Perek, which are the last 3 lines of the Amud. So you're going to be looking like about 10 lines up from the bottom of where the Rashis and Ezu Neshech end off. If you followed that, what I was saying.
Hello.
So Rashi over here, he says, Dibra Maskil over Mishum Lifnei Iver, somebody who gives a loan without witnesses. Rashi says he the lender is in violation of the pasuk Lifnei Iver lo sitein mikshol. Don't put a stumbling block before a blind man. Who's the blind man over here? The borrower. How's he going to stumble? Says Rashi, Sha'ola al ruchoi sha'loive. It's going to go up in the spirits of the borrower, lichpor, to deny. He's going to deny the fact that he borrowed the money.
Hmm.
And if you want to really get scary, it sounds like Rashi saying simply the fact that it would occur to him that he has a possibility to do this, and he entertains the possibility. That's already enough to call him a he's stumbling, and that who caused him to do that is the one that loaned him the money, and didn't do it in front of witnesses.
Hmm.
Okay. So he's causing the lova to sin. That's the bottom line. Okay.
What if he does it in front of witnesses? He's got a contract, but
Yeah.
he doesn't remind the borrower that he owes the money. He doesn't harass him. He just lets it go. Is that also putting a stumbling block, or will we say it's enough that he had the contract?
Well, this is a whole discussion over here, because there's the pasuk. The pasuk talks about the fact that the lender is not supposed to pressure him in regard
Right.
to the loan.
Right.
So it would be hard to hear that the lender is going to be in violation because he didn't pressure him or he didn't remind him.
Right.
It's a bit of a strange thing over there, because the one who has the record, because he needs the proof of the loan, is the lender. He's the one that's holding the if they wrote up a star
Right.
halvot,
Lender has the
they wrote up-
star.
Yeah, so he
lender
has the
could go
star.
to court and say he didn't pay me my money,
Yeah.
but he
So-
shouldn't act like a creditor. So, how's he gonna go to the guy and say, you better pay or I'm gonna go to court?
Yeah. No, he's not supposed to threaten him like that.
Well, he's got to warn him, doesn't he? Should he just go to court without saying anything?
You can ask nicely. You can ask that you remember you owe me some money. Are you going to be able to pay it? When can I expect it?
This is a good question, whether this is permissible. Before the time that the loan is due, there's even a question about walking by the place that he davens on Shabbos, that you don't generally do that. Maybe he's going to get he's going to feel bad that this guy's he's after me already, and it's not even due yet.
But assuming it's overdue.
So yeah, so if it's overdue, so
We'd have some rights. The lender would have some rights to ask what's happening.
well, how do you know? He has a right to collect the money, but he doesn't have a right to pressure the guy.
He's not pressuring you. Asking when, do you have any idea when you can pay me? If you can. If you can't pay me, please let me know.
It sounds good, what you're saying. The question is whether it's permissible.
Mhm.
Sounds good. I don't really know. I have to admit that I don't really know this one.
Mhm.
I know what the minig is. The minig is that you don't do it. Minig is you don't do it. And I assume there's a reason for it. Because the natural thing would be to do what you say. The natural thing would be certainly to do what you think would be totally permissible to do. See, what generally happens is that the lender talks to the witnesses, or if he and he tells the witnesses, you should tell this guy that he should pay me. Or if the lender took an arev, a guarantor, so the lender talks to the guarantor and tells them it's time to get paid, and the guarantor he goes to he calls up the guy and says it's time to pay. The lender himself, after it's time to pay, that's what you want to know. Can you call him up and tell him when you're going to pay me?
You have two heavies on either side of you, but wouldn't a guarantor be similar in a way to a lender?
Well, he can't get any money out of the guy. He's, on the contrary, he's the one who's on the hook.
Mm.
So that makes him like a borrower. You
Does
purchase-
He's responsible to pay the loan. Yeah.
So you shouldn't be able to hassle him either.
Yeah, it's not so easy to be a guarantor. That's true.
Yes.
That's
Or a
why
lender.
many people refuse. And for they say they've already been burned once, and they don't want to do it again. So they refuse. And so that's the situation.
Well, I was a
But,
guarantor once, and it went fine.
Yeah.
The guy paid the loan, and I never had a problem.
Oh, Baruch Hashem.
We know who to come to then.
What?
We know who to come to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, it's a difficult situation. All right.
Okay. So that's, yeah, that is, did we see that? Did we see that in the, we saw two psukim. We didn't see actually all the psukim. Because actually I did do a little bit of homework on this issue of lending money to a goy for interest. And this is the subject of where is this Gemara over here? It's on a base. Yeah, it's on 70b. Take a look on 70b. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the bottom of the page. More over here.
Reb Nachman?
Yeah, Rav Nachman. This is a whole Gemara over here, really, about what was this Gemara about? About Tzon Barzel, actually. Where's the Mishnah? Tzon Barzel says? No, it doesn't say Tzon Barzel. It doesn't say Tzon Barzel. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get those other Gemaras. Okay. So in any case, if you see that Rav Nachman over here, he quotes this pasuk in Devorim. So this is a third pasuk about ribbis in the Torah. We saw a pasuk in Shmos. We saw a pasuk in Bamidbar. This is a pasuk in Devorim. It says Lenachari Sashich. To a non-Jew, you charge interest. Sashich is the interest. The interest is the bite.
That's funny because my art scroll says the opposite. It says, Rav Nachman said, Rav Huna said to me regarding the teaching of the above verse that ill-gotten ribbis will eventually be lost, it would not have been necessary to state it if not to teach that even interest taken from a Gentile is destined to the same fate. Thus, the verse exhorts against taking interest from Gentiles.
Yeah, Rav, the Gemara answers Rav Nachman afterwards.
Oh, I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it says in the footnote, there was the Torah does not forbid taking interest from Gentiles. However, the rabbis prohibited it. This rabbinic enactment was instituted by the court of Shlomo HaMelech. Hence, the verse in Proverbs, which was written by Shlomo, warns against taking interest from Gentiles. See Tosfos.
Yeah, it's a whole. Yeah, I see we're getting into a whole subject over here. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we should learn this Gemara.
Okay, want to learn this Gemara? Yeah. Because if you look, I didn't really learn the Gemara. I just looked in the Shulchan Aruch in the beginning of Hilchos Ribbis in Yoredea, and over there it clearly says that it's permissible to lend to a non-Jew for interest. And in regard to this decree of Shlomo Melech, it was said in a situation where it wasn't the poskim speak about this, and they say that have to take a look at what it says in the Shulchan Aruch. But basically, the Shulchan Aruch said that the situation of the Jewish people in the time of after Shlomo Melech was such that they would be able to charge interest when they made a loan.
So
There's no doubt about
is
the
it that
fact
it would be best not to, but because of necessity, it's allowed? Because I got the impression that he said it's a mitzvah.
Yeah, he says it's a mitzvah, and it's based upon some of the I believe the Rambam says that it's a mitzvah. From what I remember, the Rambam holds that it's a mitzvah.
It says here that Rav Chia, the son of Rav Huna, said no. Of necessity, the Mishnah was only referring to a case where the Jew takes only as much interest as necessary for his livelihood. And it goes further. Ravina said Here in our Mishnah, we're dealing with lenders who are Talmudic scholars. They are permitted to lend Gentiles on interest, whereas the rest of the populace is forbidden to do so.
Hmm.
And it goes on to explain why.
Okay, so you got all the notes over there. I don't have any notes.
Yeah,
I looked, I did the hard work. Fine.
and
So,
there are variations as well, different versions of.
yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Sounds like to understand this, we'd have to probably read all the Rashis and the Tosfos.
Yeah, this is a certainly a subject which has been misunderstood and misinterpreted and used by the Goyim at the expense of the Jews, for sure. You can rely on that, 100%. It's like the blood libel of Pesach.
Right.
That's what I think. So, all the things that you read about in I don't know where the sources that they are. I wouldn't believe any of it. I wouldn't believe it.
Well, in relation to Pele Yoetz, how far do we go, or do we just continue, or what?
Well, I mean, the Pele Yoetz himself said that when you have, right, you have an opportunity to lend to a non-Jew, and according to him, it's a mitzvah, and you could take ribbis for it. But you also have a Jew who came to you, and he needs to have money, and him you can't charge any ribbis at all. So what did the Pele Yoetz said? He said, really, you should do the mitzvah with the Jew. That's the proper thing to do. And we read this before. That's what you're referring to? So when we say that there's a mitzvah, we have to understand what's the circumstances in which that would be so that it's a mitzvah. It wouldn't be at the expense of doing the mitzvah of lending the money to a Jew. That's for sure not. The Jew takes priority for sure.
Well, the Pele Yoetz doesn't say it's a mitzvah to lend money to a non-Jew. He says it's a mitzvah to take interest from a non-Jew.
True.
So if we're taking him literally, then that's a very strong statement, given what we just saw in the Gemara.
Okay, so before we jump to any conclusions, we have to really see the sources. So that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do.
I think it'd be worthwhile. I think it's an important issue,
Okay.
especially given what you said about the blood libel. It's a source of it's
basically what it is.
Hard.
It's a second type of libel. You even see it in English literature about the what's his name, that very famous English
Shakespeare.
writer, whatever, the typical Jew.
Well, there's even an expression in English to Jew. It's a verb. I actually heard it used once by a friend of mine. I was really appalled. He said, he Jewed him or something like that, which means to cheat him out of his money.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's the, okay, so so let's see, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of preparation over here. In the meantime, I would like to go on with the Pele Yoetz, and maybe tomorrow, Lean Netter, tomorrow I'll be able to have be able to go through this. I mean, there's the Shulchan Aruch, there's the Gemaras, there's an awful lot. But just to glean something of what we can learn, that would be and perhaps look for one of the poskim in that time that talks about it, what was really happening. You know, our perspective is from what the Goyim say about it, but what we need to know about it is what the Jewish halachic deciders said about it in that time. What was the situation? What was mutter? What was usur? What was a mitzvah? What was not a mitzvah? We have to examine the sources. But I need to do a little bit of research on that to know exactly where to look and what I can find. So we'll Leonetta, we'll try to start the subject tomorrow, and Leonetta, and we'll see what we can get.
Well, thank you, Rabbi, for agreeing to do all this extra work. Appreciate it very much.
Okay, Leonetta. Okay. So okay, so that was that Gemara. And fine. So we're up to page 248. 7 lines down, if he knows. And we go to Roy, would you like to start?
Okay. If he knows that this poor man cannot even provide a guarantor, but the lender can absorb the loss if the loan is not repaid, and the borrower has a good reputation and is financially capable of repaying the loan, then let him extend the loan one time on trust. However, he must not lend him money to pay off an existing loan. Only once the borrower has paid it off should he lend him the said amount. He should not rely upon his trust to lend him a lot of money, because there are many swindlers who pay back loans 4 or 5 times until the lender is confident that they are trustworthy and will lend them a large amount of money, and then they consume his fortune. Therefore, he should not increase the amount of his loan, but continue to lend him the same amount, even with the risk of a loss. Nevertheless, he should not lend any money without collateral to a man he considers a swindler, in order that his evil inclination should not deceive him into considering every man a swindler, and thereby refrain from lending money to anyone without collateral, and essentially lock the door in front of borrowers due to general inability to produce full collateral at the time of the loan, to the degree that he refrains from making any loan. Let him make the following test to determine if the man is a crook, or it is just the conniving of his evil inclination. He should imagine, just between him and Hashem, that if this same person came to him to borrow money for which he would receive a good profit, and he would trust him and give him the money, then he should consider the profit of the mitzvah like the monies that the borrower would have given him, and lend him the money for free, even without collateral. If he would not trust him and lend him the money even for a profit, then he should not lend him money without collateral. That was a very, very long sentence, about half the paragraph.
Well, that was all one sentence. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So this, what did he say over here? That was, I
Mm.
feel like I didn't get it. Talking about lending to somebody. First, he talks about lending to somebody that was poor. He cannot get anybody to guarantee the loan. But the lender could absorb the loss if the loan is not repaid. Not going to break him. Not going to be a big imposition on him. And the borrower has a good reputation, and he's financially capable of repaying the loan. Oh, I see. So why did he call him a poor man?
Yes, I'm looking at that.
Then let him extend a loan one time on trust without providing a guarantor. Okay, I'm not, yeah.
It's a bit confusing, this whole lot.
Okay, I mean, in other words, people know that he doesn't have money. He doesn't have money. He's basically poor, but he has a good reputation, meaning he's known to be, he knows that this is a person who repays the loan, I suppose. But then he says he's financially capable of repaying the loan. Somehow. It's a bit confusing, yeah.
Very confusing.
It's maybe it's a little less confusing in the Hebrew. Any case, no, I mean, whatever. He's just saying that there's people that even though they're coming for a loan, and they don't really they're not really rich people at all, but they're, he even calls them poor. He has a good reputation. He's poor. He has a good reputation. He's financially capable of repaying the loan. Okay, maybe he's poor. He doesn't have, not that he doesn't have a penny to his name, but he's poor. Okay, so then you should lend him, but don't lend him. He must not lend him money to pay off an existing loan. Oh, so he's going to ask him, so what do you need this money for? So if he says, because I got to pay the other guy that loaned me money. So then not. You shouldn't do that. Only once the borrower has paid off that loan, then he should lend him that amount. Okay. He's got there's awful lot over here. Okay. Each sentence is a whole situation that he's talking about. Okay.
And it seems to me that what it should say is, if the poor man cannot provide a guarantor, but the lender can absorb the loss of the loan if the loan is not repaid, the borrower has a good reputation, then let him extend the loan one time on trust. I don't get this, is financially capable of repaying the loan. If he's a poor man, then he's not necessarily financially capable. That's the whole point. You don't know. He's borrowing money because he's poor. He doesn't have enough money. So why would you say he's financially capable? He says, well, I'm going to be getting a new job in the future, and then I'll be able to pay it off. So that's a maybe.
Then he can observe. Okay. Here we are. If he knows that he can't get a guarantor, if he asks him for a loan, which is an amount that he could swallow his loss. He has a chazaka. He has a track record as being an ish tov. V'yesh lo makom laharviach. He has a makom laharviach. He has some way of making profit. It's not like he doesn't have a business or anything, or some means of it sounds like he's got some established in place way of earning money. Sheyuchal l'shalem es chovo, and that will allow him to pay this loan, what he owes. Im yirtze oz yalvelo pam achas. Here in the Hebrew it says, if he wants, so then he can lend him the money on his own emuna, on his own trustworthiness that he's going to pay the loan, and even though he doesn't have a guarantor who's guaranteeing the loan.
So maybe what it means is that
what it means.
The scenario that I'm saying would qualify. In other words, you say to the guy, how are you going to repay? What's going to change? And if he has a svara, then you say, okay, I think he's capable of repaying, even though it's not necessarily guaranteed.
Yeah, he doesn't have anybody guaranteeing the loan, and his ability to earn money to pay the loan is also not guaranteed. But but he says yesh lo makom laharviach. He has a place. He has a situation. He has a means. He has a means to make the profit, which would be able to pay off this obligation that he's taking upon himself now. It's not. He doesn't say any more than that. That's already enough to say that if the person wants, he can make the loan. It seems to me that the English is being a little bit more, giving more of an obligation to lend him. He says, then let him extend a loan one time on trust.
You're right.
I don't really think that that's the, I don't think that it's saying that in the Hebrew. Im yirtze. If he wants, he can make this loan to him. It wouldn't be considered to be imprudent. It wouldn't be considered to be perhaps he's saying this for the sake of the borrower himself, that he doesn't want he doesn't want to make a loan to the borrower that the borrower is going to have to not be able to pay also. So, but this is because he said already that as far as the lender himself is concerned, it's not gonna be not really gonna be an issue for him if this guy doesn't pay him back. He's not, he doesn't, so if he doesn't pay me back, so fine. So I took the loss type of thing. It's not gonna make a big difference in his life. So he says if he wants to trust him, it wouldn't be irresponsible to do so.
Right.
Okay.
And I assume that in the end of the paragraph where it says,
Yeah.
if he would not trust him to lend him money even for a profit, I'm assuming the word profit would be ribis, would be interest. In other words, even if the deal was I'll lend you on interest, I would not do it, then don't do it. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, this is the one that who's he's talking about? He's talking about, where's this sentence start?
Yeah, right. Good question. He's talking about lending without collateral.
Nevertheless, he should not lend any money without collateral to a man he considers to be not trustworthy, in order that his evil inclination should not deceive him into considering every man a swindler and thereby refrain from lending money to anyone without collateral and essentially lock the door in front of borrowers due to the general inability to prosecute. Let him make the following test. Okay, so that's the situation. He's in other words, like this, he's saying if he considers this man to be a swindler, so he shouldn't lend him any money unless he has a guarantee. He's got collateral. That's it. But then he says, but 1 second over here. I'm not telling you you got to consider every person in the world to be a swindler. Because then you're going too far to the other end. Then you're going to refrain from lending money to anybody who doesn't have collateral to give you. And that is going to result in locking the door shut in front of borrowers. Because many borrowers would not be able to produce the collateral. So he says, so what should the guy do? So that's this last part, like saying. Oh, so let's see. What does he say over here? L'chein bezos yivachen imhu be'emes chashud etzlo shehu ramai o imhu atzas yitzroi. If he really suspects this guy, yitzayer ba'atzmo. Let him picture in his mind. Beinu lebein kono. Between him and his creator. Al derech emes. Im haya ze haish bol etzlo lelavois hemenu beschar berevach tov. If he would be lending him, and there's going to be a schar for him, there's going to be a revach for the lender. So he'd be very happy to be able to do that, because he's making money with this money that he's lending the guy. However, it is that he does that in a permissible way. We're not going to get into that one. So if he's going to now say, oh yeah, I trust him, and lend to him. So then if that's the case, right, then he should, schar mitzvah, keneged askar, a shahaya nosin lo haloiva, biyamineu, lahalvoslo. Let him loan the money to this person. But he's really not getting any schar, he says. Says the Pele Yoetz, yeah, you are getting schar. You're getting tremendous schar. You're getting more schar than the schar, the more important schar than the schar that you thought that you were going to get. You're getting the schar mitzvah. Schar mitzvah keneged haschar that you thought you were going to get. So then you should do it. And that profit that this guy would give you in that hypothetical scenario, you got the schar mitzvah. And so that's the test. That's the test. So really the test is this is an amazing thing what he's saying over here, really is. Wow, it's quite amazing. In other words, if you stood to make a big profit on this loan that you're making to this guy, and you wouldn't say, oh, how, but I should be concerned. I mean, maybe the guy's a swindler, right? Oh, but you're still willing to lend him the money and trust him because you're looking at all the profit that you're going to get. Well, if that's so, if that's the way you're looking at it, so then lend him the money. But he's not giving me any profit. Yeah, Hashem will give you. Don't worry, Hashem will give you. So what are you going to say now? The only reason that you're not going to lend him money now is really not because he's a swindler, but because you don't believe in the schar of the mitzvah. That's what the Pele Yoetz just proved to us. So if that's the case, so then if you're not going to lend him money, then you got a problem.
I think our time is up, Rabbi.
Okay. Yes, sirree. Okay.
Okay.